Scorpio, pause for a moment and feel this with your whole being, because what I'm about to say is not hype, not noise, but a quiet spiritual fact moving underneath the surface of your life. A truth that has been unfolding in the unseen long before you pressed play on this message. You are being asked to stay still, not because nothing is happening, but because a huge money blessing is already moving toward you in silence. Before the transfer, before the proof, before the numbers change on the screen or the opportunity knocks on your door, your energy is being prepared to receive what your mind can barely imagine, and the very first instruction from the universe is simple and fierce at the same time. Do not rush, do not chase, do not scramble to fix what is already being rewritten in your favor. You did not arrive here by scrolling randomly. You do not follow crowds, you follow frequency. And something in you, some deeper radar that has survived every storm, pulled you into this exact moment because your spirit recognized that this message belongs to you. You have walked through years where survival felt louder than hope. Seasons where you carried responsibilities heavier than your own dreams. Nights where you counted bills and tears at the same time and told yourself, I will find a way, even when you had no idea how. None of that grit, none of that quiet courage, none of those prayers whispered into pillows was wasted energy. It all went into the invisible ledger of your life, and that ledger is being balanced now. This blessing that is approaching you is not a random stroke of luck, not some cosmic lottery ticket that might slip through your fingers. It is a response to who you continued to be when everything around you tempted you to become someone else. Even now as you listen, there is a strange stillness around you that your old self might have mistaken for emptiness, but your deeper self can feel the pressure of something new forming just beyond the edge of what you can see. You are in the spiritual hallway between what was and what will be, the space after the battle but before the announcement, that delicate gap where your nervous system does not quite know how to relax yet, where your mind still scans for danger even though the war is already over. You have been loyal to people who were not loyal back. You poured love into hands that leaked. You gave time, money, energy, and forgiveness that no one else saw but the universe saw, God saw, and the field of life around you recorded every choice. While some measured your value by your visible success, heaven was measuring you by the condition of your heart, particularly when it was bruised, tired, misunderstood, or left out in the cold. That is why this blessing is not just payment, it is restoration. It is not just about money dropping into your life, it is about your soul finally being met with the support it deserved all along. Scorpio, your sign is governed by depth, by transformation, by death and rebirth, by everything the world calls too intense until it needs the medicine of that intensity, and you have been in a long initiation where parts of your old identity had to die, so that a calm, steady, powerful version of you could emerge. The reason you have been feeling more exhausted, more emotional, more quiet, or more detached from drama lately is not because you are losing your spark. It is because your old wiring for struggle is being unplugged and a new circuitry for abundance is being installed. Think of all the years your body learned to brace for the worst, to expect disappointment, to stay in survival mode just to feel normal. Now imagine a huge money blessing trying to land in that same system. Without recalibration, you would chase it, fear it, sabotage it, overspend it, or hand it away to prove your worth. And the universe loves you too much to let that happen. So instead of rushing, you are being slowed down. Instead of more noise, you are being surrounded by sacred quiet, so that your spirit can update its beliefs about what is possible. That ache in your chest, that random wave of tears, that urge to sleep longer or breathe deeper, is not laziness. It is your soul adjusting to no longer being at war with life. You might notice little signs already whispering that something is shifting. Subtle synchronicities like repeating numbers, unexpected gifts, old debts being repaid, small raises, surprise discounts, offers to collaborate, or conversations that open doors you did not even know existed. These are spiritual tracking updates, previews of a bigger delivery that is already en route to you. And the reason this message keeps calling your name is because the universe wants you to stop doubting the confirmation you are already receiving. The blessing itself may not look exactly like the thing you lost. It may not come from the person who owed you. It may not arrive in the form your ego once insisted on, but it will carry the essence of what was always yours. Stability, dignity, space to breathe, room to choose, and resources that allow you to say no as easily as you say yes. When love was withheld from you, you learned how to give it to others. And now life wants you to receive it in forms that include money, security, and opportunity. When you were betrayed, you gained discernment, and that discernment is now one of the reasons you can be trusted with more. When chances were stolen or delayed, your creativity was forced to grow, and now that same creativity will be financed, not starved. Staying still in this season does not mean doing nothing. It means refusing to panic, refusing to force doors open that are already unlocking on their own. Mentally, stillness is choosing to interrupt the cycle of overthinking that always assumes something will go wrong. It is telling your mind gently but firmly, we are not living in that old story anymore. You may still hear the old narratives rise up, the ones that say you do not deserve this, it will be taken away. People like you never really get ahead, but now you have the authority to answer them with a new voice, a voice that says, I am safe to receive. I am worthy of provision. I am no longer living on the edge of collapse. Emotionally, stillness means letting feelings move through you, without obeying their every impulse. You might feel waves of excitement and terror in the same hour, or find yourself crying in the middle of a peaceful day, and instead of labeling yourself dramatic or broken, you can say, my body is detoxing an old frequency to make room for a softer one. Physically, stillness is about grounding rather than freezing, keeping your daily life simple and steady, taking care of your body, honoring your sleep, hydrating, feeding yourself, moving gently, keeping your feet literally or metaphorically on the earth so that your energy has somewhere to anchor as wealth approaches. You do not have to burn bridges, announce your glow-up to those who doubted you, or make sudden risky moves out of frustration. You are being guided to move like a person who knows that what is theirs is no longer up for debate. As this huge money blessing moves closer, you may also notice certain people, environments, or habits begin to fall away, not through drama, but through quiet distance. Old circles that once felt familiar may now feel heavy. Conversations built on gossip, scarcity, or bitterness may drain you faster than before. Patterns of overgiving, rescuing, or constantly explaining yourself may begin to feel impossible to maintain. This is not you becoming cold. This is you becoming clear. Wealth has its own frequency, and part of staying still is refusing to run back into energies that cannot hold what you are about to carry. You are not meant to become superior or detached from compassion, but you are meant to become selective, to understand that generosity without boundaries is just slow self-abandonment. The resources that are coming your way are not arriving, so you can prove your worth to those who overlooked you. They are coming so that you can walk your path with more freedom, support those you are truly called to help, and build structures that outlive temporary approval. Some of what is returning to you will come through channels labeled opportunity, some through channels labeled repayment, some through new relationships or contracts that feel strangely aligned with needs you never voiced aloud. Life is intelligent about how it restores. It does not simply drop a bag of money into your lap without also shifting your mindset, your habits, and your sense of identity. You are not just receiving income, you are receiving an upgrade in how you see yourself, no longer as the one who always struggles, but as someone who can hold abundance with humility and wisdom. This is why your story has taken longer than others. This is why shortcuts never really worked for you. This is why schemes, quick fixes, or dishonest routes felt wrong in your body, even when you were desperate, because your soul knew it was not built to carry tainted blessings. What is reaching you now is different. It is clean, aligned, and connected to your deeper purpose, and that is why it is approaching in silence rather than spectacle. Scorpio, there is a sacred difference between chasing money and allowing money to recognize your frequency. For years you may have run after every possibility, every idea, every half-promise, driven by the fear that if you did not say yes to everything, you would be left with nothing. In this season, the energy reverses. You are becoming the one who is sought after, the one whose stability, insight, and lived experience attract doors that once stayed closed. The world may label this luck, but you will know it as alignment, the natural result of all the inner work you did while nobody was watching. You are not perfect, and you never had to be, but you have been sincere, and sincerity is a powerful magnet. As the blessing comes closer, you will notice your relationship to money begin to soften. You might feel less urge to obsessively check balances, less need to prove that you are doing something every second of the day, more ability to rest without guilt. That is your nervous system realizing that it no longer has to treat life like a battlefield. And yet, even as this unfolds, it is important to anchor in wisdom, to remember that messages like this are not guarantees carved into stone, but mirrors reflecting back one powerful possibility your soul is ready to contemplate. What you are hearing now is not a financial prediction in the way a banker would write a report. It is a spiritual story, a symbolic language that speaks to the deeper part of you that longs to feel guided, protected, and capable of change. This narrative is meant to inspire your hope, sharpen your intuition, and remind you of your resilience, not to replace personal responsibility, grounded planning, or professional advice. Your life is shaped by many forces: your choices, your actions, your healing, your willingness to learn, and the mysterious currents of grace that no human voice can fully map. So as you receive these words, let them land where they resonate and gently release whatever does not, the way a cloud drifts past a mountain without leaving a mark. You remain the author of your own path, and nothing in this message should be taken as a promise, a guarantee, or a substitute for wise counsel in matters of money, health, or the law. Think of it instead as a blessing spoken over your potential, a soft light shining on the possibilities you are now strong enough to step into. If your heart is stirring as you listen, if some quiet part of you is nodding along, whispering, "Yes, this feels like it is for me," then let your first act of stillness be simple and sincere. Breathe deeply, unclench your jaw, soften your shoulders, and on the inside say, "I am ready to receive in ways that are aligned, ethical, and kind to my future self." You do not have to announce this to the world. It can be your secret agreement with the universe, your private contract with God, that you will welcome increase without abandoning your integrity. From this day forward, you are invited to treat every small inflow, every bit of progress, every new opportunity as a seed of the larger blessing on its way, honoring it, managing it with care, blessing it instead of dismissing it as not enough. The huge money blessing that is moving toward you in silence is not only about numbers, it is about the kind of person you are becoming while you wait, the one who no longer equates struggle with worthiness, the one who no longer shrinks their needs to make others comfortable, the one who knows that ease is not a sign of weakness, but a sign that alignment has finally caught up with them. So stay still, Scorpio, in the most powerful way. Not frozen, not checked out, but rooted. Rooted in the knowing that you have already survived every day that tried to break you, rooted in the conviction that your generosity did not go unseen, rooted in the quiet realization that you are allowed to experience a life that feels less like constant emergency and more like supported growth. Let your days be filled with small rituals that tell your body it is safe now. A cup of water you drink slowly, a walk where you notice the sky, a few minutes with your hand over your heart saying, "We made it this far, and we are not going back." The blessing is already moving. It does not need you to sprint to catch it. It needs you to stand where you are, open-handed and present, so that when it arrives there is actually a you to receive it, not just a tired shadow still fighting yesterday's battles. Whether it comes as a promotion, a paid-off debt, a thriving business, a protected home, a long-awaited green light, or a chain of small shifts that add up to a life you barely recognize in the best way, you will recognize it by the peace that accompanies it. You will not feel the need to prove it to those who doubted. You will simply feel the urge to steward it well, to let it bless you and ripple outward to others. And that, Scorpio, is the quiet miracle already unfolding around you, the one that asks only this in return. Stay still, trust your becoming, and remember that you were never forgotten, only being prepared for a level of support that your old self would not have known how to hold.